But you know how you said Brahman manifests himself as everything, and that little spark is called the Atman. So does everything mean living and non-living? So if it's like a non-living thing, say something like a TV or something like that, does that have an Atman in it, which has the law of karma applied to it?
You see, the best way to answer this question is this. Even though everything is manifestation of God or Brahman, we don't compromise. That is central teaching of the Hindu religion. Everything you are around, everything, living, non-living, everything, even a little pebble, is nothing but Brahman itself, expressing itself. Everything is sacred. That's why we divinify the whole universe, the whole creation. We see it as, if you like, you know, there's a word that we use in Sanskrit called Shrushti. Shrushti means the creation. The word Shrushti is derived, means in literally means, in Sanskrit means projection. So it's God alone is projecting as the creation, the whole of this. This is the idea of Shrushti. The whole of the creation is nothing but, if you like, a projection of Brahman. Now, you see, so far so good, you know, it sounds nice, poetic and fairy tale stuff, but now, how can, you know, what about the difference between a stone and a human being? Or a television screen, you know, because children love, yeah, and I love TV as well, but television, surely it must have an Atman too. How do you distinguish? This is what we say. We say, though there is, everything is manifestation of the same Brahman, there is a hierarchy of manifestation. There is, if you like, a kind of a grade. So the most crudest manifestation of God, or the most, if you like, the crass, the most limited manifestation, is the physical world we see around us. Pebbles, stones, houses, stars, galaxies, moons. It is, if you like, the very basic, the crudest manifestation of Brahman, the first one. In this manifested world, whenever you see a living thing beginning to rise up, this is a much more, see the second grade I'm giving, clearer manifestation of Brahman. So it's same Brahman, but here it is less visible, there it is more visible, if I can say. And the gradation doesn't stop there. It says, in human being, the same thing that was appearing in an animal, you know, a little butterfly fluttering about, that same thing that was making it flutter has become more clearly visible through the eyes of human beings. So we say there is a gradation. So from the material world, we say it's the lowest manifestation of Brahman. We say the human being is the highest manifestation of Brahman on earth. Now the word Atman arises. Now in the Hindu tradition, you see the power of Hindu tradition. Suppose you went to, say, a Christian and say, does the, you know, this cow or this horse, does it have a soul, you know, something spiritual about it? They say no. They treat it as like lump of matter. They don't give a soul to the animal. See, that's why they would happily, you know, demolish them, saying these are just for our use. In the Hindu tradition, we say, no, no. As soon as you see from the non-living kingdom to the living kingdom, even a little bacteria, you say, but how can a bacteria have a soul? What's the law of karma of the bacteria? It's very crude, in the sense very basic, but still it's beginning to show its spiritual dimension. In the law of karma, look, an animal grazing the field, how can a law of karma affect an animal? He's got a soul. So how can I say that, oh, because he has been, you know, the leopard jumped on this deer and killed it because he deserved it? I can't say that, it's nonsense. It simply says, when this Brahman begins to manifest itself and appear in the animal kingdom, the manifestation is still very crass and very crude, yet still very crude, and you see tremendous violence. So the survival of the fittest. The most fittest will survive, the rest will kill and eat. When this manifestation of Brahman comes to the human kingdom, it's most clearly visible. Here, a transition takes place. It says, don't destroy the poor, don't destroy the weak, help the weak. See, a transition took place. In the animal kingdom, destroy the weak and eat it. In the human kingdom, the transition takes place because Brahman is more visible. It recognizes the deeper level of unity between living things. Says, no, no, can't hurt, help. Don't hurt, help the weak, lift them up. So the same thing that appears in the living kingdom, that is why, you see, the Hindus, that is why we automatically show reverence to the animal kingdom, because we recognize that the soul that is here came out of that animal kingdom. And again, in different human beings, have you noticed, they show different characteristics. Some are almost vicious and brutal, and you can see they have come out literally from the animal kingdom in the last few generations. So you can see the characteristics still carrying forward, the brutal kind of killing and hurting others, still there, brutal. So we are showing this animal character entering the human kingdom and slowly over many lifetimes becoming much more sober, much more gentler, and recognizing that there is much more to me than just being an animal. So the As far as the TV is concerned, the Atman is not very visible. It is there underpinning it. That's what I'm saying. Brahman is still there, but it is at a very crude level. The animal kingdom, it is still crude because it's still biting each other. They're knocking each other out. In the human kingdom, hopefully, because human beings kill as well, hopefully, we evolve that much whereby the idea of Atman is now not to say hurt others, but to help others and see myself in others. And the lovely example we use in the book, I think is so powerful, is this. The same God or the same sun, when it appears on the crest of different waves, sometimes it appears very big, sometimes very small, little glitter on the crest of a wave, a huge bubble, and they appear, they merge, they appear, disappear, and yet it's the same one shining out through the eyes of every living thing. In human beings, it's most transparent. And in the human kingdom, it is the idea of helping the weak and not crushing the weak. So the law of karma applies even to the animal kingdom, but it's very basic. There's no thing, okay, the deer needs to be killed. It's very crude because the Atman has not been manifested well enough. That is why they kill each other and eat each other. There's no way. They won't survive. But once we enter the human kingdom, we learn to move away from it. And Richard Dawkins agrees with that too. You know that. He says once we are in the human kingdom, we don't allow the selfish gene to rule us. We must fight against the tyranny of the selfish gene, said Richard Dawkins. So he's talking spiritual. That once we are in the human kingdom, change. Don't be brutal. Don't be animalistic.